If you're searching for how to become a firefighter in Victoria or how FRV recruitment actually works, this is the video to watch first. Because most applicants go into this process thinking they understand it, and most of them find out they were wrong after they've already been eliminated. So I'm going to walk you through every stage, not the surface level version, but what each stage is actually measuring and where most people get cut. Before we get into the stages, one really key thing to understand. FRV recruitment is not a standard job application process. It's a selection process. That distinction matters more than most people realize. You are not being asked, are you qualified? You're being asked, are you more suitable than the other prepared candidates in this pool? Now that framing changes how you should approach every single stage. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. The first stage is the online application. Applications open for a very short window, and when they close, they really close. Here's what most people don't realize. You're already being assessed. FRV is watching whether you follow instructions precisely, you submit the right documentation, and you treat the process with the same professionalism expected of someone operating in an emergency services environment. Every single intake, capable applicants eliminate themselves here, not through a lack of ability, through avoidable mistakes. Incomplete fields, wrong documents, instructions not read carefully enough. Before applications open, your materials need to be ready and they need to be right. We use what I call the rock solid application process for this, which includes a triple check system built specifically for fire service applications, making sure nothing preventable slips through. The application stage is one of the few parts of the process that you can fully control, so don't waste it. Now, after the application comes the aptitude test. This is the stage where the largest number of applicants are removed from the process. FRV aptitude testing is delivered by ASA, and this is the organisation behind some of Australia's most rigorous professional selection exams. That's important context because this is not a standard aptitude test. ASA exams are built around one question. How do you think and process under pressure? So you'll be tested on mechanical reasoning, abstract reasoning, numerical reasoning, and verbal reasoning, all under very strict time limits. The trap most applicants fall into is preparing with generic practice material, or the real classic, just searching for the ASA practice test free. ASA's exam format and their question logic and timing are different. And candidates who aren't specifically prepared for this firefighter format often find that out too late. Only the top group of candidates progress from this stage. So preparation needs to match the actual exam, not just aptitude testing in general. Next is the group assessment. This is where FRV observes how you interact and operate inside a team under structured conditions. Two failure patterns show up constantly in this part. The first is the applicant who dominates, who mistakes volume for leadership. And to the assessors, that reads as poor awareness, not strength. The second is the applicant who disappears, who stays quiet, assuming that that's polite, and to the assessors, that's invisible. What they're looking for is contribution and composure. Clear communication, active listening, the ability to move a group forward, not by taking over, but by facilitating. The last point is the one most applicants miss. The candidates who perform best in group assessments aren't the most assertive, they're the ones who help the group work better together. That's a very specific skill, and the good news is it's one you can prepare for. After the group assessment comes the PAT practice session and the beep test, everybody's favorite. Now the practice session isn't mandatory, but skipping it is one of the more avoidable mistakes that you can make. It gives you the opportunity to see the physical abilities test course before it actually counts. So like the technique requirements, the layout, where a lot of people are losing time. Now the beep test requires you to reach level 9.6. You should be exceeding this comfortably before the day, not hoping to get there on the day. You have full control over the outcome of this test, particularly if you prepare in advance. Next is the psychological assessment. This is a standardized personality questionnaire, typically about an hour, and here's something that most applicants don't know. These instruments have a built-in mechanism specifically designed to detect when someone is performing rather than responding honestly. So it's not just assessing your traits, it's actually flagging inconsistencies, like red flags, patterns that suggest answers are being managed rather than given naturally and organically. Applicants who try to profile what a perfect firefighter looks like and answer accordingly often fail here, not because their values are wrong, but because the instrument catches the inconsistency. Now, the right approach is understanding what genuine stability looks like in this context, and then responding from that place. There's a right way to prepare for this stage, and guessing is certainly not that. We don't want to game this test, but we do want to be aware of the pitfalls. The interview carries the most weight of any stage in the process. FRV interviews are behavioral, meaning they want real examples from your past, not hypothetical answers. But here's what most candidates miss. The interview is not just an assessment of your answers. It's an assessment of you. How you carry yourself from the moment you arrive, how you present in the waiting room, how you enter, how you sit, how you engage with the panel. Not just what you say, but how you show up in that room. The panel is watching all of it. So your answers need to be specific, like a real situation, a clear action, a clear result. Vague answers can't be scored, and if they can't be scored, you don't get the marks. But two candidates can give equally good answers and be ranked completely differently based on how they come across as a person. So composure, presence, genuine engagement. That's what separates the candidates who get ranked at the top from the ones who get ranked in the middle, and this is a big deal. This is where you'll either sink or swim, and most applicants never realize what level is required to win here. Now, the PAT test simulates real firefighter tasks: hose work, ladders, casualty movement, stair climbs under load. Every intake, fit people fail this stage. And again, not because they lack fitness, because they haven't practiced the tasks. Technique and familiarity with the movements matter more than just raw strength. The candidate who has specifically practiced these tasks will consistently outperform the stronger candidate who hasn't. The practice session earlier in the process exists for exactly this reason. So after the PAT, police check, reference checks, driving history, medical examination, and drug screening. The medical is a full firefighter health assessment. If you have any concerns in this area, address them well before you get to this stage, not after. So pass all stages, rank high enough on the merit list, receive a job offer. Recruit training runs for approximately 20 weeks at the Victorian Emergency Management Training Centre in Craigieburn. Everything you need to operate as a professional firefighter. But getting there requires more than motivation. It requires ranking above the other prepared candidates in the pool. Here's the honest takeaway. Most people watching this now understand the FRV recruitment process better than the majority of applicants who will enter the next intake. But understanding the stages is not the same as understanding the standard. The applicants who succeed aren't the most motivated. They're the ones who figured out what was actually being measured early enough to prepare for it properly. If you want to go deep on any specific stage, I've put together a full series of videos that breaks down each one in detail, not the official description, what's actually happening, what the assessors are measuring, and what separates the candidates who progress. Start with the first video in the series, and if you want to find out exactly where you currently stand and whether your preparation is heading in the right direction, the link below is the best place to start that conversation.